Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to react to a video from a channel called It's Romain Faure. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but this dude is a French dude living in the West Coast. So he's an immigrant, and he runs a personal finance channel, kind of similar to Caleb Hammer, but not as Jerry Springerish. He created a video right here. I'm quitting and lost $60,000 on YouTube. And I watched a little bit of it, but let's watch all of it together. And, my nickname for this guy is Personal Finance John Claude Van Damme because the guy is French and he speaks like John Claude Van Damme. It kind of looks like him too. Just needs to do a little bit of martial arts. And I know that John Claude Van Damme actually isn't from France, he's from Belgium, but they speak French over there. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch Personal Finance John Claude Van Damme's journey on YouTube and learn about that and learn how he lost $60,000 and why I do the same video over and over again. So I don't blow all my money into overproducing videos that aren't getting what you call, I know this is a very basic business terminology, return on investment. Okay. Let's go ahead and watch.
I just received a call from my accountant who provided me with last year's results for my YouTube channel. And in 2024, I lost $57,295. So, in this video, which is going to be completely raw, unscripted, and a one take, I'm going to be addressing what the heck happened, what have been my revenue streams, my expenses, and pretty much addressing all of those as I think about the future for this channel because losing $60,000 while working over 3,000 hours on this sometimes makes you question some of your decisions. But before I dive into kind of all of those numbers, I want to really briefly run you through how the heck did I put myself in this situation. I'm going to be speaking to you candidly about kind of the story behind it. So you have to imagine, right? I'm 21 years old, originally from France. I land in America. I get a job for $35,000. I pretty much do that for a few years. I get through promotions. Ultimately, after 4 years, I land at $70,000 and then I'm completely locked. I start pretty much almost like a mini depression in a way where I was very evaluating whether or not being in America was worth all the sacrifice from not seeing my family and my friends. So I decided to invest in myself and taking a $200,000 Ivy League master degree, which I completed. And that led me to a dream position. And when I'm telling you a dream position, I was a negotiator at Amazon headquarters on the last floor at 27 years old for Prime Video. So when you think about, watching Titanic on Prime Video, for example, there is a discussion that takes place between the studio that owns Titanic and Amazon. And I was coming in that play. So exciting, at least for the first year. But there was something somehow that I just couldn't understand. At Amazon, it's kind of an open slate where everybody is kind of sitting next to one another, including executives. And I was the number 3 of Amazon on my floor. You have to think, the guy is pulling probably $40, $50 million a year. And he would pass by my desk, and I would often say hi, just kind of like, what the hell is going on? This guy is at the top, he's one of the founders. Not once in the 2+ years that I've been there have I seen him smile or even being happy.
Money doesn't make you happy, folks. No, I just had a quick thought. This guy must be rich to come to the US and then be able to pay for an Ivy League degree, right? And to legally immigrate. Just the fact that you legally immigrated here, I feel like that means you probably come from a fam like you have a lot of resources. Like they don't just let anybody in it, and it takes a long time too. Now, you could probably buy your way to US citizenship now because of the government change. And if you had a sweet 5 million, now you get a gold card, I think. But the fact that he was able to get an MBA from an Ivy League school, um, I think is really interesting. I'm wondering, like, he doesn't talk about his family background, but I feel like his family's rich. Am I right, boys and possibly girls?
His face was always kind of down and just kind of like sad and pissed off. And then I would speak to my manager. And at the time, guys, you have to think I'm 27 and I'm making over $200,000 per year. But it's a performance based, meaning I have a base salary, of course, but hours do not count. You're just going and doing everything pretty much. Like I was piling at least 60 hours a week. And Amazon kind of has that pressure behind you. And so I'm making great money. And I would see my manager, who's making probably $50,000 more than me in Seattle at the time with 3 kids. And he was miserable despite making that much money. And I was like, what's going on, dude? Like, why? Oh, what's happening? Why do you feel this way? It's like, Roman, I am locked. I have to sustain my kids. My wife is counting on me. I can't exceed this position. And I feel like I'm in pretty much a career jail. I can't really take risk. We have rent. We have 2 cars. We have the kids that needs private tuition, blah, 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 and all of that. And
AKA the golden handcuffs. That's how they get you with the high salaries, right? What was that like quote from Kevin O'Leary? Like a salary is like it's the way they make sure that you still fall asleep or something like that. I got to look up that quote, but yes, that is the golden handcuffs. And the more money you make, the more you get taxed.
so I look at myself and I'm telling myself, is this my life? Like, is that going to be my life? And something at some point arise that really changed my perspective. I wake up at night, feeling nervous, shaky. My fiance at the time would even tell me that I was shaking at night as I was going to bed. Crazy. I wake up 6 a.m. I get a call. Hey, Roman, what the hell happened on that document that you've done here? And I'm like, what's going on? And I get a panic attack. A panic attack at 6 a.m., middle of the night in Seattle. And I'm like, what? Like, is that it? Like, I've put every single moment of my life towards coming to this point to just feeling miserable despite having a lot of money.
You know, if they made the movie Sleepless in Seattle for the modern world, it would probably be about working in Amazon. Not about falling in love.
And so at this point, I'm asking myself, no, this cannot be it. This cannot be my life. Like, there is no way I'm going to be that guy that's going to be staying and climb the corporate ladder, okay, make great money and just not like even enjoying the moment through that. And so I write on a book 58 different ideas of what I can do, from Airbnb to drop shipping to opening like a laundry machine company to tiny house, everything that you can imagine. And I'm thinking, okay, what can I do here that provides me the scale where I'm not training my time for money, where somehow I can still have a voice in the space? Because I would really enjoy pitching deals and kind of having kind of that voice and that decision making process. And so I decided to start a YouTube channel. I know that my time is pretty much overwhelmed already with the responsibility that I have at the job. So I take time off and I fly myself from Seattle to the middle of nowhere in the desert in a small city called Laughlin. And in Laughlin, there is nothing, especially in the winter. So I decide to lock myself in a room for 7 days with no distraction. I didn't want to hear anything from Amazon. I didn't want to hear anything from anyone. The only thing that I wanted to do is put into paper exactly how I was going to go and approach this YouTube channel. So I do that. I'm here in the morning, waking up, kind of writing my business plan in a way on my computer. At night, I would be going to the gym and so on, kind of having that balance. And somehow I really found peace in that experience, in that moment, with being completely outside of responsibilities, almost outside of the bubble that I was kind of creating myself at Amazon and through kind of, being the guy that, wow, Roman, you've made it in America. You look at my parents would tell me, oh, we're proud of you and so on. And anyway.
You know, I've been talking to a lot of immigrants to the U.S. And someone told me, yeah, when I first came here, I think it was like in the 90s, someone told me this. That person said, it took me 5 years to get a home. And you know what's funny is like my response was like, somebody who grows up here born and grows up here 30 years will never be able to buy a home. And it's really strange how, like, and I'm talking about my own YouTube channel. The Pretty much like 95% of the people who bought from me are immigrants, and I'm just wondering, like, what do they have that the people here don't? And I don't know if it's some sort of self-selection mechanism, but props to this guy for coming from France, which I don't think is, even if he has a lot of money, I don't think it would be easy to come to the US and then, make top 2 as, like, working in a foreign Amazon as a negotiator. Much respect. I have a lot of respect for that. I have a lot of respect for people who do it, you know what I mean? I've always had respect for that, and I find that people who are immigrants, in general, have a lot more of the "I'm just gonna do it" than the people who were born here, and I wonder if it's the same situation back home. Where, because 'cause I've traveled to other countries where, like, the people back home are just don't have that attitude, and that's why, like, they left the country, you know what I mean? So, very interesting. Probably the other Frenchmen are not like the personal finance Jean-Claude Van Damme, but no lie, this he takes off the glasses, and I'm pretty sure he looks like he works out. He says he goes to gym. Um, he could probably be in the next Bloodsport. But what's the financial version of that? Right, let's watch.
So I come back and I have 10 pages of exactly how I'm going to approach that. And at this point, I find my biggest competitor in the space, who is Caleb Hammer, who is literally blowing up. And although I really like this concept, I wasn't too aligned maybe with his approach. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to
American personal finance Jerry Springer versus personal finance Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's really what it is. Unfortunately, people love the Jerry Springer. There's a reason why the Jerry Springer show went on for such a long time. And I wonder how many years it was. If you don't know the history of the Jerry Springer show, the dude originally did politics, I think. It was like a your very I think run of the mill politics show, and then he went like cranked it up to like, I don't know what you would call it, but how long was Jerry Springer on the air? We'll see that. 27 seasons. Holy balls. That's a long time, until 2018. You got to be kidding me. Caleb Hammer is going to be on the air for like 27 seasons because people love the Jerry Springer content. It's true. It's true.
give a different shot at it, going through a more candid way. You know, everybody has their topic, and Caleb has learned to be a good friend of mine over the time now. But I'm just going to go at it differently. And so at that point, my goal is to figure out how can I bring some of the worst financial case in America to speak to me so that I can provide my take on this. Because for the past 10 years, while doing all of that at Amazon, I have been doing everything I can in my power to game the system. Anything that you can think of legally with regards to personal finance, I've played a game in it, you know, from opening over 12 different checking accounts to milk on bonus, maximizing any credit card or tax advantages or anything that I can do to play the game perfectly. And I find myself enjoying this experience. You know, I pretty much get people to come on the show, which at the beginning actually is very difficult because you're like, hey, would you want to come and opening up about your finances on the show? How does that feel? You know, and a lot of the time you're like, get the hell out. Like, sorry, you know, if you don't have any form of like credibility yet on the platform, people are kind of discounting you, right? So I have to incentivize people to come on the show. You know, I'm paying them $100 at the time to come. And things get started moving. And at the time, I'm working 80 hours. 80 hours. So I still have the pressure of Amazon that's crushing me. You know, my fiance, we are starting to kind of go through a tougher time just because of everything that's piling up. At some point, actually, over the course of last year, I read a message because we were averaging like 1,000 views per video, and I was spending money left and right, having to recruit the right person and so on, just because I couldn't have time to edit my own videos, although I was reviewing every single minute. But I would be looking at my finances. And, when you start on YouTube, you're making peanuts. Like, especially when you want to get monetized, and it takes me a time, and I'm comparing myself to Caleb at the time, and I'm like, dude, like, what the hell, man? How I'm competing in production with this guy and in the case, but I'm just not making it. So I write a message on community post, and I say, hey guys, thank you so much for the venture. I locked down my computer.
He's got to make it into the Jerry Springer show, the French version. Bring some French people over, do that thumbnail that Caleb Hammer likes to do, and then tell him that put it in French. Like, I hate this person. This person is the most vile. I'm pretty sure it'll get a lot more clicks. That's just how life is. It's uh, the value. Like, making money has nothing to do with how much real actual value you provide to a person. It's really just about eyeballs and attention, which is kind of sad, but it's true.
And I'm like, all right, this is done. I just have to stick at Amazon, and I don't know, like I'm just like completely defeated about it, to be honest. And I post the last video, and it blows up. 250,000 views, and I'm like, is this the sign that I was waiting for? Is it the proof of concept? And from that point, I keep investing into it, and I'm like, all right, I got something here. Maybe this is it. This is my moment. This is like when you need to double dip on it. And at the time, you have to think. I had already completely deconstructed my studio. Everything was in storage. Like, it was over in my mind. And I'm like, all right, you got the spark. Okay, I'm starting to connecting left and right. There is a short company that is doing shorts for some of the top creators. I feel something's going. I have a little bit of funds. Let me invest money into doing shorts. We get 1.2 million views on shorts right after, over the course of 3 months. But that, ladies and gentlemen, cost me $15,000.
You might have noticed that I have absolutely no shorts on this channel because I'm trying to make the easiest, non-costly way of creating a successful YouTube channel without stressing myself out. And the thing about media is that media in general has a very short lifespan. And that's why I like even if you have a viral video, then it's just like, okay, you just have to create the next viral video, even though you're working 100 hours a week on it. And just to blow like 15 grand on shorts is the reason why I don't put that much effort into this YouTube channel. Like, you'll notice that I'm kind of more little bit centered on ROI, and is the amount of effort that I put in. So for example, me putting in like literally 15 minutes of video worth it compared to putting 100 hours a week and maximizing production? Because if you take a look at this, I mean, even all this design, interior design, that probably costs a lot of money, right? So there's a reason I don't spend too much time and effort being the most creative YouTuber. And but I probably do need to learn some SEO. In fact, I got some people always hitting up my mailbox saying, hey, why don't you do some SEO? And then just pointing out with some pictures like, this is where you're lacking SEO. And I'm like, too lazy, but whatever. Maybe I might hit them up. But if the ROI is there, but me spending 15,000 in shorts, and I heard shorts gives you less monetization than the full length YouTube videos, right? I'm not gonna do that. I'd rather just spend that money and buy a car. You know what I mean?
Okay, because I'm playing here with the big guns that does shorts for some of the biggest on YouTube. And I'm like, well, if this is my shot, let's just go at it. Quickly I realized that, well, maybe my content is not strong enough to, justify that ROI. I mean, definitely not from that point. So I continue through this venture. And that leads us to second quarter of 2024. I'm averaging about 10 or so thousand views per video. But at that time, guys, you have to think, I'm still at Amazon and I'm running everything. So the selection process for having people coming on that show is something that you cannot imagine. because I'm looking generally for three things: age, generally the older the better, and the wiser experience, the more depth of the story; financial struggle, or generally financial drama.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You probably get better stories if they're like 18 and had opened up a $20,000 credit card because that's where the clickbait thumbnails really at, right? And the financial drama. So I think they go hand in hand, but I might be wrong.
In some sort, they're not doing so well financially. And the most important one is someone that is willing to open up. And that's where it's tricky. So to get one person to sit on the chair that I'm sitting right now, I need to speak to at least 40. 40. So I'm running Amazon. I'm running casting. I'm running production. I'm having people coming to my house to record. I'm preparing the cases. I'm doing thumbnails, or I'm actually kind of reviewing thumbnails and so on. Titles, SEO, everything. And I said, fuck it, I'm burning out at Amazon. I'm quitting Amazon. Let's freaking run that shit. Let's go all in. I had a little bit of fun. I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of how I went about it. I'm like, okay, you've burned yourself like crazy at Amazon's. You can financially go about it. And over the course of time, I'm going through the motion, going through that. My editor, we kind of pair together. We're like, let's go, and I'm running days where I'm going to bed at like 1 a.m. Literally 1 a.m. at that point, just trying different things. And I'm starting to work with sponsors. They're liking, momentum builds. And then I decide to do something that completely messed up my algorithm. I get out of the podcast for just a glance to allow myself to go more of that, hybrid podcast, React, educational, and I don't have the subscriber to support that journey. And this is when I fucked up my algorithm. And this is when things have been going down from that point where I'm not able to reach again that original viewer that was watching my content. As I'm looking at my finances, I'm in that momentum, like just let's keep this going. Like, I don't care, let's go. And I'm going to be opening up a little bit about what that means in terms of pure numbers. Guys, I hope for no judgment on this, but this is crazy. I spent $98,000 last year on YouTube. So just even digesting this, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, how the hell did you put yourself in this position? Most of that cost is contract labor. So an editing on my podcast is about $500. Then you have to account for thumbnails. That's about $40. Then you account for someone that does captions. That's about $50. Then you have to account for, what else? Hold on, how do I put? Yeah, oh, right. I forgot about this one. People coming on the show. Most of the people have no money. They have nothing. And so I need to help with transportation. I need to provide a slight incentive at least for them to come and just open up to me. That's about $200 or so per person. So every production, every video that's coming out every week is more or less, when you account for everything, about $1,000 out of pocket. That, guys, is crazy. When my revenue per video is about, $10, $12 per 1,000 views. So I make 10,000 views, I make $120. The ROI here is out of this world. In fact, in 2024, I made a total of $40,844 of revenue. 40K. So my time is literally on minus. Like, I've lost, I guess, 40,000, almost $60 an hour. This is a freaking joke. I did 3.4 million views last year in ads, 23,917. My most popular video, the one that blew up, did $2,400. So I had to bet on sponsors and affiliates. I made about $17,000 from those. But affiliates, they're like, look, let's go. What's your return? How are you doing? What are your views? Hey, we want something. We want like an average. Hey, what's going on? Well, my views are going to be up and down, up and down. I can't really provide as consistent of a platform because it's so case dependent. At the same time, I'm feeling the financial pressure and like, what the hell have I put myself into? I need to commit to it. I need to just go about it and just kind of see, is this going to be the next video that's going to come out? Is this going to be it? Or do I need to shut that down? So last night at 3 a.m., I wake up and I have a mini panic attack because the day before I received that document and I'm like, fuck. That's what it is. That was goes through my mind. So this is what's going to happen. I have 10 videos, 10 podcasts recorded ahead right now. Those are going to be probably some of the 10 most important videos that I've ever published on this channel because it's going to be a go or no go. I am shutting down my new recordings. So the video that you're going to be watching for the next couple of weeks are naturally the ones that we've recorded before that have a follow-up and so on. And we have some really, really exciting stories. I'm having to fire my editor, which has been my partner from day one. I just can't afford her. And I am going to be doing something completely different if this shit doesn't run. I'm going to be doing commentary with a spin of entertainment for personal finance. This could potentially be my competitive advantage. My production cost is going to drastically reduce. This is something that I can also combine with employment that I need to go back to because I have no choice. Man. Was it a fail? Heck no. When I think about the 2 years running this, I've probably lost at this point $100,000. But somehow, I've never felt more alive.
Not gonna lie, I feel like he's probably been in the United States too long when I see perfect teeth. In fact, whenever I see anybody who's not from this country with perfect teeth, I feel like, man, you've totally been Americanized. You know, I feel like perfect teeth is an American thing. Am I wrong about this? I feel like it is, right? But yeah, he's got some nice teeth. Not gonna lie. And I keep thinking, man, he's got that JCVD look. And the way that he moves, remember that movie where he does those dances, but it's like really pronounced and almost kind of really funny? I feel like he was gonna do that, but I don't want to play the JCVD dancing if you don't know what I'm talking about.
So, from a financial perspective, has it been worth it? Yes. Because I see it as educational, as if I invested myself into this venture. Like the people that I've met, the experience and everything has been crazy. And yes, it's a massive financial loss. Speaking from the perspective of a finance guy, I should have shut that shit down much faster. But man, when you have a hobby, when you have a passion, when you have something that just pulls you in, fuck, you just you just want to make it work, man. That's just the way it is. Guys, if you've made it this far, I am really thankful to every single one of you that comments, and I read every single one of your comments, your engagement. I have know that on this channel we have a 92% success rate for people that have come to the show. And while I may not have the finances to, to showcase that success for me, man, I've probably changed at this point tens of life, or at least for the ones that I've spoken to that I'm still in touch with. Guys, I see you in another video. I'm excited for those 10 coming ones. They're going to be nice, and I'm looking forward to see you. We'll see how in the next video.
All right. So 1,607 comments. Interesting. Caleb Hammer, look at that. The Jerry Springer of personal finance, bro. That's awesome. Okay. So, but it seems like a lot of people love his channel. It's just not the look at this Graham Stephen. I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's right here too. So basically, I just feel like it's just if you ever watch his videos, they're really high quality production, but it's kind of like probably not enough outreach or not like SEO type of outreach or algorithm catching the YouTube algorithm which is kinda like gambling too, because you could have, like, the best videos of the world, and if the YouTube algorithm doesn't catch you, you're screwed. So I'd like, if you have a job, just still keep your job, right? Um, Probably has to go back to work soon, but it's all good. It's all good. It looks like he's a smart dude. He knows what I feel like he knows what he's doing. And I wonder if there's a market for a French version of what he's doing, right? Like I wonder why like he's never thought of like doing the French version of personal finance. And actually, let me just type in personal finance in French, right? Well, it's this dude. But is there a total French man exposes the number one reason Americans are broke? Meet Olivier, a 31-year-old French who has navigated his personal finance journey without difficult moments. Maybe they don't need it in France. I feel like that's what they're saying, right? um, but there needs to be a French. I'm looking if I'm curious if there's going to be a French Caleb Hammer. you know, French Caleb Hammer, not this guy because this guy isn't willing to be Jerry Springer, but I like his stuff. All right, well that's it for today, folks. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship, and so now you probably understand the reason why I strategically just make the same video over and over again because I'm not willing to gamble on the YouTube algorithm and possibly lose $60,000, right? No shorts, just videos, hit the record button, me saying the same thing over and over again. You learn a lesson and possibly pay off debt really quickly. Okay. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.